All right, Howlers, let's get howling. But first, a couple quick warnings. First warning, this podcast contains adult content.
Don't be a pixie.
Second warning, this podcast contains spoilers for the entire Red Rising saga, including Lightbringer.
Hell yeah. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Etsy, email HowlerPod@gmail.com, visit us at HowlerPod.com, and you can find us on YouTube. I don't know what to do with my hands. Oh, I'll hold my beer. That's right. Peerless Gold. And rate and review us, 5 stars only. If you don't give us 5 stars only, then we'll make you hang out with Screwface on Marcher 1352. What's the number?
1632?
One something. And it'll be not a good time.
And now, HowlerPod.
Oh!
Yea, if some god shall wreck me in the wine-dark deep, even so I will endure. For already have I suffered full much, and much have I toiled in perils of waves and war. Let this be added to the tale of those.
Hello, Howlers. Welcome to HowlerPod, your podcast for all things Red Rising, where every episode we dive deep to break down, celebrate, and discuss all aspects of the fantastic Red Rising saga by Howler number 1, Pierce Brown.
Ow, ow!
I am your host, Ben Reinert. I am joined today, as always, by the amazing Erin Ayers.
Hello, Howlers.
Erin, what are we doing today?
We're on YouTube. Also,
What else are we doing?
we're finally reading Lightbringer. We're doing our chapter rereads, and we're starting with 1 through 5.
Has it really been that long?
Yes.
It's only been like
It's been a long time.
Yes, chapters 1 through 5 of Lightbringer. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, so let's fucking load up this star shell and shoot straight into our chapter summaries.
Hopefully we don't shit our suits.
Are you doing accents now? Part 1, we open with Darrow, Castaway. We start the book with Darrow working on the hull of the Archimedes, as seen on YouTube on the wall. That's right, podcast listeners. Open your computers. Darrow and 200 of his men are marooned on Marcher 1632, you
Nailed it.
fucker. A trash moon that is slowly circling the sun, very slowly. Cassius and Are dropped the ragtag group off and left to steal helium needed for the trip home to Mars. We learn that Are left Darrow a book about the path before she left. And Darrow is dark, sad boy, moody, not a good hang at the time. But he does find glimmers of hope when he thinks of Virginia, Pax, and Mars.
Chapter 2. Darrow returns from working on the hull of Archimedes and checks in with Harnassus on the status of the ship's reactor. Things are actually going pretty well, and it looks like it should be working soon. That is, if Cassius ever returns with the helium they need. Harnassus, not optimistic about this. And then he starts voicing some concerns that are being raised over Aure's true intentions, even though he's secretly in love with her, just like everybody else, pretty much.
I'm in love with her.
Most of this doubt is being sowed by Screwface, who's in a real sad boy phase after Mercury. Can't really blame him.
Got kind of scalped and lost a leg.
It's tough times. Darrow, he goes to check in on Screwface in the comms chamber where he's taken up a very Severo-like residence. Darrow tries to comfort his friend, but is unable to connect. He's too far gone at this point and just needs to go home. Darrow leaves Screw and goes to train in his razor room of requirement while listening to the passages from Aure's book, The Path to the Veil, read by an AI-voiced Virginia. After training, he returns to his chambers and works on a new project he has taken up for Pax. It's his life story. Just as he lays down The base's proximity alarms ring. Battle stations, Votum torch ship inbound.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Chapter 3, Revenants. Everyone runs to their battle stations to prepare for boarding, but alas, it is the Wayward Chin, Ben's favorite, and R.A. Are we saying R.A.? Ore?
We can do whatever we want. It's our podcast.
It's tough. It's a tough word.
What does TGR say?
He has a British accent, and he says Ore. I don't know. Fuck. We need Nick Brenlow back. What a great opener, by the way. Chills. Okay. So the Wayward Chin comes, and they bring Callaway Char in 2011 from Heliopolis. Darrow rapidly catches up on all that he's missed. Virginia's alive. Mars has not fallen. The Rim brought 2 of their 3 armadas to the fight. Kieran is now Arch-Governor. Quicksilver is rumored to have quit the war. Sephi was blood-eagled. And Fa ran up with the Obsidians. And oh yeah, Fa is Ragnar's father. And Thrax is like, bullshit, I didn't get all these tattoos for a bunch of traitors.
I love how Darrow basically like just read all the other chapters of Dark Age that he was not in.
Yeah, I could have done that.
That part.
Would have saved some heartache. We also learn, sadly, that Rona's unaccounted for, and the mess Darrow left behind on Mercury got even messier while he was away, and there were lots of pulls up butts.
Lots, like millions.
There was a road. Not good. Then Cassius waltzes in with the helium. Read the room, dude. And he has bad news for Darrow. Severo has been sold in a high society syndicate auction.
Chapter 4. Darrow and his Imperators watch a hologram of Severo being sold at auction. They learn that the buyer is the one and only Apollonius Alvaliarath, who is blasting a message across the whole solar system from his base at the dockyards of Venus to Darrow specifically. It's basically like, come get your boy, let's duel, otherwise I'm going to kill him and put his head on a spike. That's the gist of the message. Seems pretty reasonable. Darrow, he's like, I want to go, but his Imperators and Council think that's a terrible idea, which it probably is.
Yeah, well, we do find out.
He attempts to make his case, but they aren't having it. He tells them, I'll sleep on it, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, but it's a ploy, and he is planning to sneak out in the night. Cassius anticipates this very obvious plan of Darrow's and tries to talk him out of it, but ends up agreeing to go with him, because of course he does. Ore, not one to be left out, so she's coming along too, as is their new friend, Dominus Portobello, a 30 megaton atomic warhead.
I like that they got rid of saying Dominus except for the Portobello warhead.
Yes. They prepare to sneak off the trash moon, except everybody else also saw this very obvious plan coming, and they are waiting for Darrow at the Archimedes. Darrow explains that this is his path, and they can also use this to draw society attention to Venus and let the rest of the group slip home to Mars. They're like, okay. The Imperators agree at that point. Thraxa gives Darrow Bad Lass, her razor, as a parting gift. Darrow boards the ship and looks back to what remains of the tired and beaten army, saying, Hail Libertas, one last time, and only his echo answers.
Awkward.
Very tough moment.
Ooh.
Like after he left, how do you think everybody's just like, that fucking asshole?
And then they just go about their day.
Yeah, they just go back to being on a trash
Or
bin.
they start fighting over the food packets. Chapter 5, Lysander Games. Horses! Best way to open a Lysander chapter. We check in with Lysander on Mercury, Heliopolis. He's being cheered on by the people as he enters the chariot games at the Hippodrome with Kuiper, Glorastes, and Roan beside him. Glorastes and Roan are snipping at each other until Lysander shuts it down. Shut it down. Anyone? New girl? Shut it down.
I didn't get that. Sorry.
Cool. We meet up with Pytha, deemed captain of the Lightbringer. Hopefully it flies. Before she takes Glorastes home because he just can't. The games are attended by many of Atalantia's friends, along with the Carthii group and the Wrath group. Julia Albalona and the Ra pointedly do not attend. In the distance, we see the work being done on the Lightbringer, a grotesque behemoth of a ship that doesn't appear to be able to fly, and people are taking side bets on it. We learn that Apple stole the Carthii docks on Venus, and Atalantia supports the deal as long as the ships keep flowing into her armada. This obviously pisses off the Carthii, specifically Valeria Carthii, one of the siblings, and she's hoping to inherit the docks. And so Valeria and Lysander do a wink-wink, flirty understanding that they'll benefit from each other in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So the games begin. Cicero rides out with Blood of Empire leading the 4-horse team.
Exciting chapters this week. How do we feel about the start?
I'm just excited to be back. Even sad boy Darrow can't get me down.
Yeah, there's like little kernels of the Darrow that's coming here, I think, as well. So
Yeah.
that ties into what our theme for these chapters is, which is
Rebuilding. I didn't
Wow.
know if you were going to say it.
I was prompting you.
Thank you.
Yes, so we've got some rebuilding going on in these chapters,
And we,
right?
at HowlerPod, we are also rebuilding.
Wow. Yeah, synergy.
Yes.
We planned that.
We
didn't,
did.
but we did. So yeah, we've got Darrow. He's like literally rebuilding a ship. He's kind of also rebuilding his.
And Lysander's also building a ship.
Yes, we've got two shipbuilding going on, and we've both got them building in separate ways. Darrow's kind of like rebuilding his damaged psyche and ego after the fuck up that was Mercury.
Yes.
And then he's trying to rebuild his relationships in some ways. He's trying to rebuild his body that was broken also on Mercury.
Yeah, he's got some old wounds from the loon.
And then we've got, like you said, Lysander also rebuilding a ship that's stolen. I mean, that really sticks in my craw. Stealing the Morning Star and rebuilding it, calling it the
Bitch
Lightbringer.
ass Lysander.
Every time he calls it the Lightbringer, I'm just like,
That's not what it is.
where
dude.
do you get off?
Although
bro?
I will say, Darrow renamed it the Morning Star.
Like it's already been renamed once,
So
it
I'm
doesn't
just
matter.
not that I'm on Lysander's side, but let's not forget history.
Are you calling the ship a slut?
Yes, definitely. I'm just saying she goes whichever way. Whoever's inside of her gets to tell her what her name is. This is rated R.
This started off well.
Also, Lysander's rebuilding connections, and he's politicking.
Rebuilding some power. He's trying to rebuild that a little bit of that power that he kind of lost by getting involved with Atalantia, because she kind of basically neutered him after.
She did
Mercury.
the opposite of building.
Yeah.
She killed his parents. Spoiler.
So let's talk about some quotes.
Let's do it.
The first quote we have, this is where Darrow is literally rebuilding the Archimedes, but he's also thinking like, hey, maybe I can rebuild myself too.
Well, he's starting to. He's
Yes.
resisting the opaque writing,
Right.
which I also resist.
So
You know,
this quote
I
comes
get
from
it.
The Path to the Veil.
The path is made of many stones that look all the same. When you tread upon evil, do not rest or look down, because goodness is only a step away. The next may bring ruin, the next joy. But these stones are not your destination. They are but your journey to the path's end. I mull over that as I weld another panel onto the hull. Maybe this is just a stepping stone. Maybe this place isn't perdition. Maybe it's a gift.
Wow.
Mm.
Introspection from our warlord. Darrow's always been a softie at heart. I'm
I do
glad
think
that
that
he's getting some therapy through this.
Yeah, there's a lot of passages, especially in this first section here, where it's like Darrow was definitely changed by what happened on Mercury. He's like, can't just be the old warlord again.
There's been a change in me. That's from Beauty and the Beast, the musical.
He's looking for something new, and he's resisting, like you said, the path. But ultimately, we know that the path
Help shape him.
is going to be what's like going to pull him out of this.
And while rereading this specific chapter, I'm thinking, Do you think Darrow's looking back like, man, we should have never gone to Mercury? And they went to Mercury after Iron Gold, like between books.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't even see that first Iron Rain where like all the Obsidians died.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, they shouldn't have done that. We should have just not gone to Mercury.
The whole thing, probably shouldn't have started.
You know, and then I was like, I wonder if while he's introspecting, and I am as well, if we're like, maybe we shouldn't have blown up the docks of Ganymede. That doesn't age well.
I think that may come up later.
You know, I'm just like, we're learning. This is our first time being a warlord. You know,
a lot of lessons in this book.
Yes.
Yes.
And then someone else who needs some help is Screwface.
Mm-hmm.
Darrow is talking to Screw, trying to build him up. Darrow says,
I tell myself that I'm checking on Screwface to keep him straight, but it's my own loneliness that inspires the visit. Of all my survivors, he is the only one who shares memories of the Institute. I just want a spark of our days of glory from an old member of my pack.
So I think there's a few things going on right here. Like, he's trying to rebuild this relationship with Screw, but really incapable of doing that, right? Because, like, Screwface is not open to it at this point.
Yeah. And bless him, he was Screwface because he was ugly, named by Cassius. Thanks, bro. So nice. Then he got really handsome, you know, and then now he's back. He's low again. So that's why we should not put meaning into the way we look on the outside, Screwface. Maybe it's about what's on the inside.
There's also something else here where it's like, and I think this kind of informs the rest of the book, and that's that Darrow is kind of looking for some of those old memories and wants to have the pack again. And I think that's, you know, talking about like what happens in this book where we basically get Cassius, Severo, and Darrow riding again together. All of this is all set up in these first 5 chapters so well. Like Darrow on the path, some of this nostalgia that we're going to get with kind of the old school vibes from the Institute with our threesome again. So like all of it's just right here.
You mean Red Rising, one of the best books out of the saga?
It's a great book.
You're number one?
And then we've also got Darrow just trying to rebuild his broken body. His arms screwed up, his lungs pinching. I mean, Lysander fucked him up.
And before you read this, I wanted to say I'm being a good howler, and I wrote in my I got the one with the poster that's like all folded. Did anyone else get this? What am I gonna do with a folded poster?
I know.
Just leave it in there.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, it's folded.
Lame.
Yeah.
I wrote down page 14. Workout inspiration quote.
I thought about that too.
Yes,
like it was such good.
I don't like working out at all. Yeah. And I'm always like, you know, I'm like getting changed to work out and the whole time I'm like, fuck, I fucking hate this. Yeah. And like I'm doing like a easy 20-minute workout.
Yep.
So this is my workout inspo quote.
Yeah. That's why that was a big reason I wrote it down too, because I was like, this is such a good, like if you're trying to get anything done that you don't want to do.
Yeah, even like, you're supposed to study or you need to, you know, clean your house.
Right.
Like this.
I almost cave. But I know by now that voice of reason is the enemy. Inside me, there is a coward who fears discomfort. That coward will offer solace in the form of excuses. But it is the coward who grooms a man for his defeats, the coward who makes him accept them because he is accustomed to finding a good reason to quit. The coward inside can only be killed one way. I toss down my pack and don my training kit. Hello, teacher, I say to the sphere's computer.
Tell that coward, no. Not today, coward. So yes, Darrow is rebuilding his body here.
And this is like, we got to call out a good montage when it happens. Like this is a good training montage right here.
It's ready for the screen.
Yes.
And like the way the gravity's shifting and it's Virginia's voice.
I can just like imagine some quotes from Virginia like layering over the top of some images of Darrow like training.
And like fading in and out.
Yes.
Yeah. We should direct the show.
I agree. I'm
Yes,
in.
we have a lot of experience
Call us.
doing film work like here. Okay, who else is rebuilding? We got Lysander,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 5. So he's, like we said, rebuilding the Lightbringer,
Yes.
the Morning Star turn
This
Lightbringer.
fucking asshole. So he's talking to Valeria Alcarthii. We have a couple quotes from their conversation. They kind of have an extended conversation where they're
They're kind of flirting, kind of like, are you in my corner? Can I trust
trying
you?
to feel each other out.
Yeah. And the thing with all this politicking is, like, you're risking death, you know?
Yeah.
So they're like, oh.
Yeah,
you-
they don't want to seem like they like somebody too much, but also you're kind
not
of
too
like,
eager to,
I
like,
got the,
go against the dictator. You know, is Lysander really her pet? So Valeria starts out, I hear Horatia is responsible for that delusion of grandeur to the south.
She's referring to the now Lightbringer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lysander says she is. It was her idea to use the wreckage of the White Fleet to repair the Lightbringer.
This motherfucking asshole.
Yes.
I
So
swear.
it's the Morning Star and the White Fleet wreckage.
It's bad. This is just
it's Frankenstein.
it's classic Lysander. Just
It's
being
classic bad guy.
being a total dick.
Yes.
Reusing our old ships and reusing the Morning Star, turning it his own ship, calling it the Lightbringer. The worst. And then
And that's pretentious.
It
the
is.
Lightbringer.
it sucks. It's like I said, it's classic Lysander. It's classic just pretentious a-hole, like you said.
Well, like you said.
And then the next quote, final quote for our themes here, Valeria goes on to say, what do you like? And don't say peace. And Lysander says, power. After all, what else makes peace? This informs his character for like the entire book. He's after power this entire book.
With
and
pretending that it's peace. That's how he
Yes.
sleeps at night.
and
at night.
and ultimately, like, that informs every decision he makes all the way to the end of the book, including Cassius. Like, it's about power in the name of quote unquote peace.
Not cool, bro.
This fucking guy. All set up in the first 5 chapters of this book, which is awesome. I think, like, looking back, these first 5 chapters are set such like a perfect roadmap. And we'll get into this a little bit more in Prime 5 as well. There's a few nuggets in there. Like, I just feel like this is one thing Pierce does really well, especially when you go back and reread the book for the first time. Like, you're like, wow, it's all like right there,
Yeah.
right from the start. That's really cool.
Pierce is good at his job.
He is. I would like to introduce a new segment.
I see. I'm just now seeing this. Ben snuck into the outline a new segment.
So we have a new segment. I don't know if you remember the segment from Dark Age, Who Died Today?
Yes.
This is in place of Who Died Today, because
Oh,
we
great.
didn't have a lot of deaths. Like, we were
thankfully.
we were trying to have fun with Dark Age. There was a lot of death.
Yes.
Pretty much, I think somebody died in every single episode.
Or a lot in one episode.
Yes. So today, with this episode, our new season, Lightbringer season, our new segment is, how is Cassius hilarious today?
And how was he hilarious, Ben? I'm sure you are going to want to take this one every week.
I would love to. Let's see. It's when he steps out of the Archimedes with the canisters of helium as a returning hero.
With 4 on his.
Yeah. And then it's right after Calloway just told everybody how, like, the entire Free Legions were
pulled to death.
yes, were impaled by Atlas from Heliopolis to Tyche.
And there's a road.
Yeah, and he just walks out and he's like, conquering hero. It's
Yeah.
like, nobody's happy to see me. Nobody's
Yeah.
happy to see me, and they're all just like
That was hilarious
staring
to
at
you?
him. Oh god, it was so
Not
funny.
like a little douchey?
No, it was perfect.
No? Okay. Nice.
Read the room. I mean,
Sure.
but also hilarious.
Also,
So
how can you not love a handsome
no.
fella?
He comes out, his curls are bouncing, his chin was probably shining. I mean, it sounds great. Anyway, that's been How is Cassius hilarious today.
Great segment.
Can't wait
Thank
for
you,
next
Ben.
week.
Thank you for adding that.
All right, I think it's time for the Prime 5.
5 of our favorite insights and observations from this week's chapters.
I'll take the first one because this was my observation. So I feel like Darrow, there's like this quote that I feel like was a little bit of a callback to Blade Runner and a really great line from Blade Runner. So that's a classic sci-fi movie. It's about Harrison Ford. He plays a Blade Runner, which is like a person that hunts replicants, which are robots. They're alive for a certain amount of time. They're on Earth causing all kinds of trouble. And he's got to go kill them. Anyway, at the end of that movie, there's this great quote from one of the replicants who's about to die. And he said, "I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched C-beams glitter in the dark near Tannhauser Gate. All those moments will be lost in time like tears in the rain." And it's like this beautiful quote. Very beautiful movie quote. And I feel like Pierce is like playing off of that. When Darrow's about to walk inside, chapter 1, he's finished welding on the Archimedes. He looks back out, sees like the trash moon and the plastic and the sun shining off of it, and he says, "I have seen things a red miner was never meant to see. Unspeakable horrors, impossible beauty, things that would make the tale of particles seem commonplace. But today I feel a little different, a little more willing to see there's beauty here on this stepping stone."
Nice.
So I feel like that was a little like call out to Blade Runner by Pierce there.
I love it. Only you could remember.
So,
a
well,
quote
that's a very
from Blade
famous.
Runner.
That's a very famous movie line.
Oh, okay. I've seen the
for
movie.
sci-fi people.
I love it. Great observation, Ben.
Thank you.
I was noticing one of my favorite new introductions in this book, which is Darrow's new Breath of Stone moves, his new Willow Way. And you see it at the beginning of this book. You see the seeds of it starting when he's training with the book being read to him, and then him going through the path. So the Breath of Stone starts already.
Right.
The room of requirement, as you said, which I have to say that I was on a job site, like looking at an existing building, and it was a like manufacturing building, and we walked by a room, and the room tag said room of requirement. And I go, room of requirement? And they're all like, what? And I'm like, Harry Potter? And everyone's like looking at me like, no. And I'm like, and some of them are like my age. I'm like, come on, Harry
guys.
Potter?
Gotta know that.
And then I'm peeking in the window like, what's in the room of requirement?
That's funny.
It was a storage room.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I wonder if they just did
I
that to be
digress.
cheeky, or
No, I think it's like it was like part of their facility, and they didn't get it. I'm like, it's clearly Harry Potter.
Yeah. But yes,
I
like we said,
digress.
we're planting seeds right from the beginning here. He's already like basically
He's getting on the path.
he's starting the
He's
Breath of Stone,
adjacent
and
to
he
the
doesn't even know that he's doing it yet.
Right.
You know? Which
And
is
it's
really
all
cool.
about it's similar to Mind's Eye, where it's like a meditative state.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's starting.
Okay.
And Virginia's voice
I know.
is the one reading.
That was
it.
like very heart touching, that whole situation where he's like listening to her voice,
I know.
doing his practice.
Dude is whipped.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, who wouldn't be for Mustang?
I am.
Come on. Okay, so let's rank these Screwface nicknames for Cassius as number 3 on the Prime 5. So the list.
Did we get them all in this?
This is
group of
just in this
chapters?
chapter,
Wow.
or just in these couple of chapters. So he calls him the Decapitator of Ares, the Chin, Feckless Quim, the Avian Turncloak, Putrid Adonis, and Wayward Chin. So I'm thinking like number 1, I think has
Putrid
to be
Adonis.
Okay. I was up there for me. I was up there. I was gonna go with Wayward Chin number 1, but you're Putrid Adonis number 1. I'm probably Putrid Adonis number 2.
I'll take that
Okay.
order. We have to agree.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go.
I'd say Decapitator of Ares is 5.
Yeah,
Or
that's
are there 5?
yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
6.
Yeah. So
Number
that's the
6.
last on the list.
Yeah.
That's probably the meanest one.
Then the Chin, that's kind of obvious. That
So
can be
we'll
5.
say that's 5. And so we just need to get Feckless Quim, and I think Feckless Quim 3.
That's 3.
Yeah. Avian Turncloak 4.
Can you explain Avian Turncloak to me?
It's a avian means bird, so he's referring
Right.
to the fact that he's an eagle.
Oh,
Yeah.
eagle.
Yeah.
I did like when Lysander was like, oh, you want me to get eagle shit all over me? I was like, ha.
Yeah.
The eagle.
But I was really enjoying Screwface coming up with 6 separate nicknames for.
I'm sure he
Cassius
has
within-
more 'cause
within,
that was
like-
only in like 1 chapter.
Yeah, it was like 2 minutes of screen time.
Screwface is shining. We didn't see a lot of him until Dark Age,
Yeah.
you know?
I was like a little suspicious of him.
Well, in Dark Age, I was like,
Yeah.
he's the one who
Right.
told Julia.
And he's like, and the more you go back and read it, like the more you look into it, he's easy to get even more suspicious of.
Yeah. He's more suspicious
he's like,
than
he like disappears.
Holiday.
He like disappears at the wrong times, and like
Uh-huh.
then all of a sudden comes back, and it's like, what were you up to, man?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know. But now I'm like, poor guy.
I think he's all in. Yeah.
So another favorite insight, number 4, is Darrow's convo with Screwface. They're talking about how there's something up with RA, but they don't know what. Everyone's suspicious of her,
Yeah.
but like with a smile because she's so hot. You
Right.
know, they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So Darrow says she's something all right, but she's not Cryptea, which
Then what is she?
I would like to be
Yeah.
Cryptea. They sound badass.
They do.
Except for the part where they enforce the hierarchy.
They're like very much strictly
their
enforce
main
the
thing.
hierarchy. Yeah, that's probably a bad time.
probably bad.
Other than that, sounds great.
Other than that, they're like super spicy, which is cool. Screw says, what is she? And Darrow says, a friend, I hope. Screw says, let's pray you're right, 'cause they're out there hunting us. They'll want to cut your head off for destroying the dockyards of Ganymede. What did I say?
And it's hilarious 'cause she is something.
But they don't know what. But
Exactly.
she is a daughter of Athena, but they don't know about.
And the
Athena.
daughters of Athena also want to punish Darrow for the dockyards.
Right.
So it's like they're talking about it but not
Yeah.
talking about it.
So you're like, ooh, they're close.
And this is also
they're
kind of a-
circling.
Right. This is another little breadcrumb that Pierce is just laying out there early on. And
Yes.
like so we can this is like signaling where we're going
Yes.
and we don't even know it.
We are not wayward chins, 'cause Pierce is guiding us
Yes.
towards the truth.
And then our last and final Prime 5 insight and observation is that we do find out what happened with Callaway and a little about Rona. Erin touched on this, but her shuttle went down in the city before making it to the Morningstar. So we know she was on a shuttle. It was in the air, and it crashed into the city.
So that doesn't mean she's dead.
No.
And she's modded out.
Yeah, hopefully.
She could be, chilling with her bolts.
We've seen a lot of people, survive plane crashes.
Yeah, especially off-screen deaths.
Right. And then Callaway, we find out what happened with him. So there were some assault shuttles that were inside the Morningstar that were still working because they were shielded from the EMP by the Morningstar's hull. And so they used those ships, flew out, but they couldn't get into space, so they hid in the mountains. Then they hired some iron smugglers to get them off planet, and then they stole their ship, which was hilarious. And that ship was previously a Vodum torch ship.
Which is what showed up.
Yep. So that's the ship that showed up, and then they have like a transponder that basically says that they're a Vodum ship, so they can kind of move around without being detected.
Yes.
And then a total of 2,011 people escaped
and
with
then
Callaway.
Darrow and Cassius had about 200.
Yes, we've got a total of about 2,200 people from like 9 million.
And I did want to bring this up. Okay, we see the Archimedes here. That can't hold 200 people. So were there other ships, or were they just nut to butt?
Yeah, not to butt in the
You think?
cargo bay. Yeah.
You think 200? I'm just, looking in plan. Like those chairs there, put 200 of those little boxes.
That cargo bay is pretty big.
But it's full of cargo.
Well, I don't think they had a ton of cargo.
I don't know. I was just thinking, like, really 200 people fit in the Archimedes?
At least 4 in every room, probably.
Nut to butt, sir.
Pack them in there. They were probably packed in.
I was like, were there other ships besides the Archimedes?
Do you think that Darrow and Cassius shared a room?
I think they planked on top of each other the whole time. Before we move on, I had some other things on my note card.
Yeah.
That
the note card.
I did want to talk about the artwork that I was just like, oh my God, it's folded in half.
Mm-hmm.
The poster's folded in half, but Del Rey published the artwork.
This is in the Barnes & Noble special edition.
The Barnes & Noble. And look at this is Darrow. Look at Darrow. He looks like Chris Evans and Adam Driver had a baby. Do you see it?
Yeah.
So open your books if you have this one. It's like Chris Evans with a longer face, so it's like a little Adam Driver.
It is very Chris Evans-y, yeah.
Anyways, couldn't pass that up. I did want to ask, in the dramatis personae, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the first time they leave out the middle ow, T, Z?
I think so. Yeah.
Because, yeah, I wasn't sure. I guess I have Dark Age right behind me. I could look. But on the Solar Republic, they leave out the ow. So, Callaway Char.
It's definitely the first time I've ever noticed it is in this book.
Yeah, Orion, Aquarius. You know, it's like their names like sound different without.
Yeah.
But then on the Society, they still have them.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool attention to detail.
Nice.
And then I did want to say how sad it was when Lysander said to Glorastes, "Have no fear, I will protect you."
Oh, I highlighted that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
fuck.
no, you won't. And I just feel for Glorastes because, you know, he's kind of a dick, but he's just an architect.
That's why you feel for him?
I don't know. You know, he's just one of the people who get stuck in the meat grinder.
Yeah.
Get stuck between. But yeah, I was like, ooh.
That did hit me hard on that.
No, you
one.
won't. Okay, those were my extra notes.
Those are good. I appreciate those. Should we talk about the Primus of the week?
Yes.
So now that we've finished our Prime 5, it's time to name our Primus of the week, where we choose one character who conquered our proctors of plot and rose above the rest.
Who was it?
Our Primus of the week is Aurey.
Pew, 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 pew.
What are our reasons?
She's super hot. She's really
You can stop right there.
tall like a baby horse, you know?
Dusky. I like how they...
Or a baby giraffe, maybe.
I love how they described her as dusky.
Yes. No one knows how old she is.
Yeah, 20 to 40
but
to 50.
Darrow was like, definitely not 20 because her eyes are ancient. It's like, don't look at her eyes. I'm telling Virginia. We know that she is a good guy. Well, you know, except for the accountability thing.
Who wants that?
And she's putting Darrow onto the path,
right,
which transforms him.
I think that's the main thing, right?
Into a better person and makes him a badass ninja fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so I mean, everybody's in love with her. She starts Darrow on his path. She also convinces the boys to let her to come along on the suicide mission.
She's got Cassius wrapped around her finger.
She's got Harnassus wrapped around her finger.
Just everybody.
She's performing with a lyre, like weekly.
Musical talent.
Yeah. So, I mean, how could we not name her the winner?
Yeah.
She
great
seems
job.
like the only person that's kind of having an okay time.
Or like it's going the way she wanted it to.
Yeah, so
like she's in charge. I agree.
Do we have some time for the Howler mailbag?
Well, let's do it.
All right. Let's do some voicemails to start.
Okay. Who called? Thank you for calling. Everyone who calls. Everyone else, you should call. Don't be left out.
Our first voicemail comes from Sir Michael. And Michael, I owe you an apology. You were on my list of voicemails for the last voicemail Howler mailbag. I accidentally forgot to play your voicemail, so we're going to play it today.
Hello, this is Sir Michael Lee Howard. I haven't talked to you all in a long, long time. Just had to say, first off, welcome back, period. We are just very, very excited to just hear some more of Lightbringer now. And I just had to give my first reactions for Lightbringer. I thought it was a really, really great read. And I do wish we would have got a little bit more of some, wartime stuff, and definitely, could have used some more Victra fighting. But I do have to say the very end of the book was very emotional. The best part about Pierce's writing right now is that he's really set it up so that we have some great closure on some characters, so we have less people to look forward to in the next book, and we can focus on all the important people. I do have to say, after listening to the last few episodes, my favorite battle has to be the Battle of Ilium. The visuals, everything about it was amazing. But as far as one-on-one fight, I have to say that Volsong fight with the whole visual and the confess, just amazing. Anyway, you guys have definitely made me feel like I have a community in the Howler world, kind of no one I know here in Arizona that's part of that universe. So I just have to thank you guys again. I'm so looking forward to the rereads and just looking forward to what y'all have to say. And I hope all is well. Oh!
That was wonderful, Sir Michael. Thank you.
Good to hear from you again.
Yes.
It's been too long.
It's been too long. Let's play another voicemail from our friend Ethan from New Zealand. I don't know if you remember him.
Yes. One of the Kiwis.
I think you had made a special request. And I
did make a
that,
special
that
request.
He delivered on your special request.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Ethan.
Tell me, Ben and Erin, are you worthy? Just kidding. It's Ethan from New Zealand. I hope you guys are doing well. I must say it was very weird to hear my own voice on your podcast, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I hope you guys are doing super well. Man, I'm looking forward to this chapter by chapter read along. I'm about halfway through my second read through, and oh man, what a freaking book. I can definitely say confidently at this point that it is my favorite book in the series. Like, oh man, the scenes in it, the chapters, all the moments that we get in this book, Lightbringer, oh frick, it's insane. I must say, Atlas, dude, what a creepy guy. The blue hair. I mean, not that I have anything against blue hair, but man, not for him. Frickin' heck. Gave me the chills. One thing I am really wanting to see in Red God is some moments with Severo and his daughters. Like, man, that guy has so many daughters, but we just don't see any moments with him and his daughters. And it would just be so cool to have some sort of fight scene, some sort of reconnection with them. And I miss the moments between him and Victra. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts. And hey, what are you guys looking forward to in Red God? Besides what you've already said in previous episodes, are there any things you're secretly hoping will happen? It would be good to know. But hey, I'll leave you with a quote from Ragnar Volaris. I will give Io your love. I will make a house for you in the vale of your fathers. It will be besides my own. Join me there when you die. But I am no builder, so take your time. We will wait.
He who speaks in bold. Are you crying?
About.
Well, I was terrified at the beginning, and then I was sad at the end. So thanks for the roller
Very
coaster.
happy in the middle. Yeah.
Wow, Ethan.
Ethan, what a delight. The bar has been set on voicemail, I feel like.
Yeah, I think impressions need to be in every voicemail.
I like that. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you for the kind words. That was
And we look
awesome.
forward to visiting you in New Zealand. Thanks for offering your home to us.
I'm pretty sure that was part of the voicemail.
Yes,
You're right.
I heard that.
Yeah, okay. Our next voicemail comes from some friends of ours as well. So
No intro needed.
no intro needed.
Hey, Ben and Erin, it's Fate Obsidian, it's Skipper and Crescent.
Hi.
We're in a little bit of trouble, and we need some help.
Yeah, we tried to break into the wolf sanctuary just outside Saskatoon, and we got in a little bit of legal hot water. Can we get you guys to come bail us out? We'll pay you back with whiskey and gin.
Yeah, we're just a little short on cash right now, and Gambit says he'd be the ones to help.
Yeah, he vouched for you.
Yeah, so if you could come get us, we're in Saskatoon prison.
Yeah, we know you can't call us back, so we'll just, expect you.
We'll just wait. It'll be fine.
Thanks in advance.
Thanks.
Love you. Bye.
This one came in about 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
so
no!
I hope they're still alive.
Oh, shoot.
We'll come get Skipper out. I'm leaving Creston in there for
I want to
naming
know,
me
were they
Dribble,
breaking
so.
into the wolf sanctuary to skin wolves for their wolf's cloaks? Because in that case, then we should probably leave them in there.
I'm definitely leaving Crescent in there for naming me Dribble, so sorry.
Well. And Gambit. It was Gambit.
You ever heard of Crossland Shaw?
I can't remember multiple names.
I don't know him either.
I do.
I'm not
So
familiar.
I was going to say I finished my last Peerless Gold beer from Cabin Boys Brewery from HowlerCon. There it is. It's empty.
Mm-hmm.
I do have 2 more that are crosses that he left here, but I hid them somewhere so I wouldn't drink them, and I cannot find them.
Bad.
So I do have like a very messy.
And yes, we know who
basement.
Crossland is. I mean, he's just our
I was
old
like, which one's
podcast partner.
Gambit?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry,
Love you, Crossland.
Skipper
I'm just
and
making fun of
Crescent,
you.
that you've been rotting in Canadian prison.
I'm sure it's very nice.
I'm sure it's much nicer.
Yeah.
So
Sorry about that.
I'll renew my passport and I'll be right there.
And we also got a really fun email in from Cassie that I wanted to shout out.
Cassie, thanks.
A couple of great call outs. They said in chapter 2, Screwface lists feckless Quim as one of their insults for Cassius. And this harkens back to book 1, where Cassius is the one who calls Darrow a feckless Quim during his betrayal in the Institute.
It's been used.
I wonder if that triggered any flashbacks for Darrow, Cassius says. And then in chapter 5, she says, classic Pierce, but blink and you'll miss this one. If you're wondering why Lysander places a bet with the roving bookie at the circus on Mercury, in an age where people have data pads and kiosks would make more sense, it's because the ancient Romans did it this way. And she's wondering if they have to go find the roving bookie to claim their winnings.
That'd be annoying.
We'll have to get Heather on that one.
Yes. Our wise and wonderful researcher who
But
probably has a PhD by now because it's been so long since we've recorded.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Cassie, for writing in.
You know what it's time for?
What are we into this week?
Erin, what are you into this week?
So, John and I have been watching Welcome to Wrexham, which
I've heard of this.
Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia
Mm-hmm.
bought a football team, and that is football as in soccer for you Americans. Yuck.
Uncultured Americans.
It's called Football. It's a long documentary. There are like 15 to 20 episodes per season, and I'm not really
Per
exaggerating.
season?
So
There's already multiple seasons of that show?
it's in season 2 right now, but John and I started this last week, and like every night we've been watching like multiple episodes, and we're like, I guess there's more. But I will say some are like filler episodes. I think Ryan Reynolds is quite enjoyable to watch. He's very cute and funny. So even the filler ones, I'm like, hee hee.
Yeah.
And,
Hee.
and Rob McElhenney, he would be cute if he weren't standing next to Ryan Reynolds, you know. But
That sucks for him.
the documentary is cool because it explains like the crazy way soccer works with all the different tiers and the leagues, and I didn't know all that. And it also goes into the town of Wrexham, which is in Wales. And by the way, Ayres, my last name is Welsh.
Wow.
So,
You're
and
practically a Wrexham fan.
I am from Wrexham. But
and they like start really low and then make their way up, right? Or something like that.
well,
Yeah.
that's the whole story. Do
Okay.
they make their way up? There's a
Gotcha.
lot of ups and downs. But the documentary also goes into the town of Wrexham. It talks about like individual people that live there, kind of gives their life story. So it's not like a fast hitting one. It's a nice like slow paced. Learn about the town, learn about football, the different leagues.
Is it on?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
But I'm really enjoying it.
Nice.
Yeah. And Ben, what are you into this week? And the only reason I didn't put this is because you fucking put it first.
I know. I'm into Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It is on Netflix, so I was like, I gotta watch this. I meant to watch it over the summer.
And then Ben texted me and said, you have to watch it. I'm so mad right now. And we won't tell you why he was mad.
Yes, no spoilers. But I thought this was a super fun movie. Like
super, get it?
Jesus. I'm glad people are going to be able to see my face looking at you saying that.
Rolling your eyes. But if you didn't yet, you should watch the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes, this is the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse. I think we've talked about Into the Spider-Verse, I'm sure, back when it came out.
Which was great.
Awesome.
I kind of wish I had rewatched it right before watching Across the Spider-Verse. Because there were a few things where I was like, wait, I don't super remember super.
Yeah.
Like their relationship and like what was going on. But
yeah. But I thought it was super fun and just like a really well done movie. I have some complaints about the ending, but I won't say more in the name of spoilers.
It's not complaints in like a you shouldn't watch it way.
Right. It's just
it's in like a yearning way.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But I thought it was really, really, really well done and super like one of the few movies I've watched at home recently where I put my phone completely away and I haven't wanted to pick it up and watch it again. So I feel like look at my phone anyway. So I feel like that's a really good review.
It's also
right
a
there.
long movie.
Yeah.
I started it after work and then I was like, oh my God, this movie's so long. I stayed up pretty late.
Yeah.
And then I was texting you at like midnight, like, fuck,
yeah.
just finished.
And now that it's on Netflix, like high rewatchability factor. There's a lot of like, if you're into Spider-Man, there's a lot of Easter eggs and shit. I don't really necessarily care about a lot of that stuff, but I know a lot of people do. But
yeah.
So like, if you saw it this summer and want to watch it again, I think it's one of those movies that you could get a lot out of on a rewatch. Yeah.
I like rewatching.
All right, that's what are we into this week?
And I like rereading.
Spider-Man's having a moment right now. He's like got a PlayStation game. I want to fire up Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5.
Let's
I
do
haven't had
it.
a chance to yet, but Spider-Man
Saturday.
1 was fucking awesome. So if you're out there playing PS5 Spider-Man 2,
Does your controller shake when you shoot your web?
it's got some feedback. Let me know how it is because I want to know. All right, what's coming up next week on HowlerPod?
We are rereading chapters 6 through 11 of Lightbringer by Pierce Brown.
Awesome.
All right, that's the episode. Special thanks, of course, to our best friend, Miles, for our episode art. Please follow Miles on Instagram at mbenskydesigns. He's also tagged in the art that he's done for us.
Miles is doing some excellent episode art for us.
For each episode, which is great because now I don't have to do anything.
It's not the main reason, but we wanted to, like, Miles is doing this out of kindness.
But Miles can
of his
actually
heart.
draw.
Yes, and he's awesome, so go follow him.
We love Miles. He was just here. I miss him.
He's amazing.
He should come back.
Yeah.
Miles, come back. Special thanks to Nick Brenlow for the voice work, reading quotes in his British accent, and he will be here all season. And he also has a really cute baby. So, in case you wanted to know. And new things, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can look at us, if you want.
Real life form.
I don't know if you noticed, but we're wearing our Part 1 circus shirts, and we match. How cute is that? And don't forget to follow us at HowlerPod, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook. We have an Etsy store, yada, yada, yada. Email us, howlermailbag@howlerpod@gmail.com. Leave a voicemail, 1-800-516-1540. Please do your own voice work.
Yes. Ask us a question. If you got a good theory, share it.
Ethan gave a good example of a great voicemail.
I guess we didn't even answer his question. Sorry, Ethan. We'll get to that one.
Oh, shit.
The voice work was too good.
What am I looking forward to in Red God?
Quickly.
Another book.
I'm looking forward to,
The continuation of the story.
I think, Darrow and Pax getting a dad-son moment.
You want a hug?
Yeah,
or do you want like
I want a Darrow Pax hug.
You want like a, look, I kept your key.
And he sees the key. And the key like hits Pax on the face, and he's like, "You kept the key."
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you crying?
I am now.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this, but low husband, low wife, obviously.
Gotta happen.
Find links to all this at HowlerPod.com. Tell a friend about the books, of course. Always do your due diligence. All of your friends should be reading this book series. Tell them about us if they've read the if they've read the podcast. If they've read the books. If they haven't, don't tell them about us. We are a sleeping giant
Of spoilers.
spoilers.
Yeah, I was like, where are you going?
I didn't know where I was going. That's when I point at you. And rate and review us 5 stars only. If you don't give us 5 stars only, then we'll make you hang out with Tharsis at the games. And that'd be a bad time.
Yeah. Bad manners.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Howlers.
OMNIS VIR LUPUS.